Yo, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened to Star Wars under the Disney era. I'm just going to say it. This is a dream. This is what people have been dreaming of. And everyone's like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And now look what happened. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been rethemed to the original trilogy starting April 29th. That is a mere 3 months away. This is huge. This shows there is competence somewhere in there, that they get their guest feedback and they're now using it in the way that it should be used. They're not just throwing it away like they used to. They're actually listening to guest feedback. And that's why this happened, was because of guest feedback. And I had heard for a year that this was going to happen and that they're talking about doing it. And no one believed me. Everyone called me crazy. They were like, no, that's not happening. Blah, 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 blah. And now look, right here, rethemed to the original trilogy. Absolutely fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible work. I mean, I'm serious. Like, Disney, wow. Like, I'm honestly, I'm really pleasantly surprised at your commitment, common sense, and understanding of what people want. And to everyone who's been along on this kind of journey to this place, thank you too for helping this happen. Because without us, without people making a fuss about it, it never would have changed. If the numbers were just as amazing as they always are, nothing would have changed. If the feedback was just as good as it always was, nothing would have ever changed. But people spoke up and fought, and we got it. So that's, mainly like you guys, we've talked to them. And if we can keep this kind of dialogue going, like they shut the Acolyte down, that was for monetary reasons. Like, everything comes down to money, right? So as long as we can keep that kind of dialogue going, honestly, with just money, and who being more careful about what we're giving our money to, that really makes a difference. And we're seeing that. So I'm really, really happy to see this. I already loved Galaxy's Edge, like loved it, adored it. And now it's going to be that times 20. And like, this is just like literally a dream come true. You get to walk around, Darth Vader's walking around with stormtroopers. I've literally said this on the channel in the past. Could you imagine sitting there and having Darth Vader walk the streets and the stormtroopers? Now it's happening. It's literally happening. It's freaking crazy. Anyways, let's read this article. Welcome to a new era of Batuu. Disneyland Resort has announced exciting updates coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. Beginning April 29th, 2026, Black Spire Outpost is expanding its timeline, introducing elements from the events of the original film trilogy. As a result, visitors to Batuu, the planet inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, may cross paths with a few familiar faces, from Darth Vader and Imperial stormtroopers strutting through the streets, to Han Solo and Chewbacca reuniting at the Millennium Falcon, all while John Williams' iconic musical themes swirl through the air. Bro, this is another thing that people weren't happy about, is that, like, there's no music. Like, you just walk around, and, like, I understood kind of why they were doing that, but this just makes it better. You get John Williams playing while you walk around this land with Han and Chewie and Vader and Luke, and, like, this is fucking game-breaking, bro. What is this? This is phenomenal, dude. Wow. Like, really, this is the best thing that's ever happened in Disney era Star Wars. It just is. It's the greatest thing that has ever happened in the past, however many years, since 2012. Wow. I mean, dude, okay, let's keep going. The original Galaxy's Edge timeline placed Batuu during the era of the Resistance and the First Order between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. The new timeline will roll back several decades, expanding to span the events of Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian. Ever since Black Spire Outpost welcomed its first visitors in 2019, the land has been growing and changing, adding new characters, attractions, and special events. This new timeline shift is the next chapter in the ever-expanding story of Batuu. Love to hear that. We've always seen Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as a platform for storytelling, a land that would continue to live and grow and evolve with the brand of Star Wars, explains Asa Kalama, Vice President Executive for Creative and Interactive Experiences at Walt Disney Imagineering. The new timeline means new characters, Han and Leia, as well as updates to some shops and even the land itself. Here we break down the biggest enhancements coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. New familiar faces and new visitors. Wandering through Black Spire Outpost, you never know who you might bump into. Beginning at the end of April 2026, Darth Vader will be landing on Batuu, joined by menacing Imperial stormtroopers. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck? We're spoiled, dude. We are just simply fucking spoiled. Wow. Jesus Christ. How the fuck did we go from the Acolyte to this? What the fuck, dude? Like, seriously. Holy shit. So that's crazy. That's just fucking crazy. Oh my god. We knew Vader had to arrive, explains Michael Cerna, Executive Creative Director for Disney Live Entertainment. He's the iconic villain. The best villain ever, in my opinion. Vader's search for Luke Skywalker brings him to Black Spire Outpost, and visitors may cross paths with the powerful Sith Lord near the TIE Echelon. One of the lesser-known facts about the TIE Echelon is that it's actually an Imperial-era ship, Kalama says. It carries the same color and markings of all the TIEs from that era. Since Galaxy's Edge debuted, the craft has belonged to Kylo Ren, making it sort of like a vintage car. So canonically, it aligns with the new updated timeline we're celebrating now. And see, I've always loved that ship. I love the design of it. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was always an Imperial ship. Now, that could be them gaslighting us. Maybe like, that could be them just kind of, oh yeah, it's always exists, huh? You know, like maybe, I don't know. You know, I'll have to go back and see if that's actually the case. You know, but maybe it was. But yeah, like that makes sense that they're not going to tear down an entire, like that's so much money to tear something down and rebuild. Like that's just, no. But, that's interesting that it was always an Imperial era ship, supposedly. That's interesting. You know, I that is definitely unique. I did not know that. It's very cool, but I just didn't know. That's awesome, dude. That is sick. Fortunately for the Rebels, some powerful allies are headed to Black Spire Outpost 2. Luke Skywalker will be making an appearance, joined by Han Solo and Leia Organa. The Princess and the Scoundrel will be making their first appearance in Galaxy's Edge. The Imagineering and Disney Live Entertainment teams work closely with Lucasfilm to craft all new looks for Han and Leia, making sure they're ready for adventure on Batuu. Han wears his iconic vest, while Leia rocks a battle-ready white outfit. Her hair is up in a practical crown braid, similar to how she wore it on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. This is Leia's adventure look, explains Lucasfilm Senior Creative Executive Matt Martin. It's inspired by some comic book appearances from this era, as well as the look that she had in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the video game. But this is really the first time we get to see it physically created on a person. And of course, Vader, Han, Luke, and Leia won't be the only characters you might encounter. Current fan favorites like R2-D2, Ahsoka Tano, Chewbacca, and Rey will remain as possible characters. Finally, Chewie and Han are together again on the Falcon. Ray, by the way, I don't know if they talk about it later. Oh yeah, they do talk about it later, so I'll explain it later. Plus, fans may also cross paths with the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, and Grogu, who will soon be embarking on a new adventure together. As previously announced, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is getting a brand new mission beginning in May 2026, inviting you and your crew to team up with Mando and Grogu to track down Imperial officers and claim a bounty. Cerna emphasizes that he and the team want Galaxy's Edge to always feel as immersive and as authentic as possible. To celebrate the new update, Lucasfilm is teaming up with Marvel Comics to release a new tie-in comic series revealing the backstory on how and why the Empire and the Rebels came to Batuu. Now, this is great because they did one for when it first opened. Do I have it around me? No, I'm probably gonna have to dig. Anyways, I have it. It's really good. It was really interesting, and it basically told the story of how they ended up there, and it was really good. So I'm glad they're doing another one to now explain how this happened. So I'm very curious to see, and they already kind of said it's like Vader's hunting for Luke on this planet, basically. Yeah, so that's that. Bringing in all these familiar faces means that you might never know who you might encounter upon under the spires. Rey, for example, might pop up closer to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which is remaining unchanged. Well, you might catch Mando or Ahsoka wandering through the bustling marketplace. And of course, R2-D2 will be roaming throughout. Cerna adds with a laugh. He's in all of these stories. So they're really smart. So what they're doing is they're sectioning out Galaxy's Edge to era. So the Resistance camp is going to be sequel themed. It's staying that way. Then the marketplace is where you'll have Mando, Ahsoka, and any of those Mandoverse characters. Then outside of that, by the Falcon, by it used to be called First Order Cargo, but they're renaming that. I'll get to that soon. But by the TIE Echelon area, you'll have Vader, and then by the Falcon, you have Han and Luke and Chewie and them. And then on the outskirts, you'll have other characters. But basically, that's kind of how they're divvying it up so that everyone has their thing. And then R2 is all over the place because, he's in everything. So yeah, that's how they're doing that. New looks at familiar locations. Every corner of Black Spire Outpost has a rich history, and rolling back the timeline means that fans can experience some familiar locations in an all-new way. We're also thoughtfully going back and thinking about all the backstories of some of the shops that exist in the land, Kalama says, because we're set in a new era. Some are run by new proprietors. One of the biggest changes is coming to the existing First Order Cargo, which will be getting a refresh under the new name Black Spire Surplus. Located near the TIE Echelon, Martin describes it as a sort of military supply shop, packed with exclusive offerings from around the galaxy. We're going to see things from the Rebels, Martin teases. We're going to see things from the Empire. It'll be your one-stop shop for faction gear. By the way, that's an original Galaxy's Edge concept, was they were going to have a store with blasters and helmets and all that in it. So they're clearly drawing from that original concept that they ended up just not using for some reason. And Disney has this whole stupid thing with fake guns and toy guns that after some shooting happened, they said, you know what, we're not going to sell toy guns anymore, which is ridiculous. But they are drawing from the rest of that, which is really, really great. And I'm really excited to see that. And who knows, maybe they will put blasters in there for fun. Because, this is the very first announcement of all of this. There will be more coming in the future. And by the way, I don't think all of this is coming out at once on April 29th. April 29th is when Vader and the Stormtroopers start. But I think basically this is all going to unfold through Season of the Force. And then by the end of Season of the Force, all of this, that they're talking about will be set in stone. That's just my theory. I don't know. Maybe. The shop also has a rich backstory. Martin explains that Black Spire Surplus was founded by two former clone troopers who fought alongside each other in the Clone Wars and became close friends. Years later, one of those soldiers joined the Empire and served as an Imperial stormtrooper, while the other signed up with the rebellion. But as they got older, they decided to retire and team up as friends and business partners, opening their new venture on Batuu. That's cool. That's a cool story. Additional updates are also coming to Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, Savi's Workshop, and Droid Depot to ensure those locales feel like a part of the earlier time frame. Doc is always getting new shipments and new antiquities, Martin says. We're going to see some new items on display, potentially some Easter eggs that people will recognize from some of the more recent live-action TV series. A galactic soundtrack. Music has always been a key element of Galaxy's Edge, and now that soundtrack is expanding too. As you wander through the market or stand under the Millennium Falcon, you'll now hear themes from John Williams' iconic score pulled from the first 6 films. That means that over in Oga's, DJ Rex will be spinning the beloved Cantina Band. It is so unbelievably emotional and impactful to be standing in front of the Millennium Falcon or next to Savi's and hear the Force theme gently playing in the background, Kalama says. It totally transforms your emotional response to the land. I agree. The result, Kalama hopes, is a Galaxy's Edge that feels more immersive than ever, inviting visitors to experience their own Star Wars stories in an all-new way. We've spent a lot of time agonizing over every last detail, he adds with a laugh. I'm blown the fuck away. I'm gonna be honest, I am blown the fuck away. This is what we needed. This is what should have happened in the first place. This is how they were originally going to do it in the first place, actually. And then, obviously, studio interference happened, and someone who knows they were pushed it to be sequel, because that were the movies coming out, and they wanted their movies to be the ones everyone loves, but then they quickly learned that that's not the case. Well, I guess in Disney's mind, they slowly learned that that's not the case. And then they have set to redo it, and they're now redeeming themselves and making it the best it can possibly be. And that is great, because, and I mean the best but two could possibly be. Because, I mean, like, really, this is, sure, they could have done totally other concepts instead of just one planet. But I think having one planet does ultimately make it more immersive, I think, than having, like, a bunch of little sections. But yeah, I mean, this is, holy crap, dude. I mean, this is just incredible. Wow. I mean, I said it 10,000 times, I'm blown the fuck away. And it's just random. I'm in class, I check my phone, and it just is like, Vader coming to Galaxy's Edge. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I'm at lunch, and they're like, oh, see more at an article. And it said Darth Vader and more. I'm like, what the fuck is and more? And then I go on this article, and I'm like, what? They're retheming the whole thing? Dude. I'm so glad they're doing this. Like, they underutilized. Like, if you think about how big Star Wars is, they were underutilizing that land. It was great, don't get me wrong, but they were underutilizing it. Like, they shrunk it to this specific set of characters, this specific set of fractions, and they didn't move it anywhere else. And now they've taken that and they've done this. And, like, that is what needs to happen. So, I cannot believe that I'm going to be walking through Galaxy's Edge, and instead of stumbling upon Kylo Ren, I'm going to be stumbling upon Darth Vader. And instead of stumbling upon Vi Marati, I'm going to be stumbling upon Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Leia Organa and Chewbacca. I'm sold, bro. Like, if this means something for the future of Lucasfilm, then I'm all in. I mean, if we're really going to start using our brain now, by all means, please. I mean, this is just perfection and nothing short of perfection. This is, and by the way, they have Darth Vader currently at Tomorrowland in this god-awful costume where the head is like 4 times the size of the body. And it's a horrible looking costume. They've redone the costume as well. Now I'm going to pull up the image for you so you can see what it looks like. Is that or is that not just the coolest shit? You know, they did this after the park closed. They snuck Darth Vader and stormtroopers in, you know, right at like fucking 2 a.m. to get this picture and advertise. But yeah, and the stormtroopers look great too. Like this is just so I'm so happy, dude. Like this is the best thing that has happened with Star Wars under Disney. I mean, easily. What else could you combat against an immersive theme park experience with Darth Vader, stormtroopers, the Millennium Falcon, Luke, Han, John Williams music, a brand new attraction where you get to pilot the Falcon and choose which planet you're flying the Falcon on. I mean, like, what tops that? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing tops that. What? Huh, the Mandalorian Andor. Huh, Andor. No, bro. No. I'm sorry, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. No. No movie, no show, no game. This is the best thing they've ever done. And I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And I just can't see it turning out bad, to be honest with you. So this is just one of those things that I have so much faith in that if, like, it's not going to end up bad. We've already seen it. We have physical proof from Vader already that it's not going to be turned out bad. Like, you have a big, bulky guy in the Vader suit, not a scrawny little dude who's like 5'8". You don't have me in a Vader suit. You have David Prowse in a Vader suit. That's what you want in a Vader suit, is David Prowse. Not 5'8" Zayn Sade, because I can't be Darth Vader. I'm not, physically built. So I'm glad that they're actually casting well now. Because the one in Tomorrowland, God, they do not put any effort. But now, supposedly, I heard a rumor from someone that Kylo is going to move to where Vader was in Galaxy's Edge, because he just doesn't have a place there anymore, basically. Because Vader took his spot, and the Resistance camp is the Resistance camp, and it wouldn't make sense for Kylo to be there. So they just moved him over to the meet and greet in Tomorrowland, I guess. This is what I'm hearing. This is what... That part is a rumor, but I guess it makes sense. It makes sense that they do that. However, I don't think there's going to be a big line to meet Kylo Ren, to be honest with you. Like Vader, it's Darth Vader, right? You could do that with Vader and get good attendance. Kylo Ren, on the other hand, like, I don't know how well it's going to do. Again, I'm a Kylo fan. I like Kylo Ren a lot, but I'm speaking more in terms of the general populace. Like, I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to do, but all right. Yeah, just great news. Just really great news. I just wanted to let you guys know that we have been blessed by the Lord as Star Wars fans. Just absolutely blessed by the Lord. Thank God. That's really all I have to say. Thank God he gave these people insight to what they need to do. Because, like, fucking hell. Now I have to start, like, theorizing of what the new merch could be and the new stores could look like. Like, dude, this is great. Anyways, that's it. So I had another video I was going to release, but not anymore. I'm doing this one instead. So leave a like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next video. May the Force be with you always.